York was an important state because it was rich from trade and geographically it was located almost in the middle of the northern and the southern states. If New York didn't ratify the Constitution, it probably could have become its own country, which would have split the states in half. New York doubted that the Constitution would be a success without a Bill of Rights and with the small states getting too much representation.
I think that the Constitution will be a good idea. The fact that each state will have 2 people in the House of Representatives will please all the states.
With a Bill of Rights, maybe it could work, but I still don't think it would be a good idea. The number of representatives stated by the Constitution will be too much for the smaller states and too little for the larger states like us.
People will control their own representatives.
Well, what if the government falls into the hands of the wealthy? It would be hard to represent a country district containing 30,000 to 40,000 people.
It's better than the Articles of Confederation. Alexander Hamilton agrees that the Constitution is far better and stronger system of government than the Articles. The Articles were far too weak, which led to its failure.
Even if the Articles were weak, Wellington Smith thought that the liberties of 3 million people could not be securely trusted in the hands of 26 men. There is the danger of corruption with a small number of representatives. It's unreasonable.
Well, Hamilton thinks that the representation will be equal, but people should choose their representatives wisely with a democracy. Only certain interests should be represented because there is no need to represent interests that are not involved in the powers of the general government. It is not necessary to know, as Hamilton states, how wheat is raised in proportions of how much one district has to another.
But the Constitution won't represent America's middle class and will lead to government corruption. The government will fall into the hands of the wealthy. The elections are held by plurality. Only the rich will be chosen, and people will constantly be struggling for power. The middling class would be a better choice because they will think about the better good for everyone, not just themselves.
There are more people in big states. It will be harder for small groups to take charge. If you have a large district, then you're not going to have individual corruption. However, small states with a small amount of landowners will be corrupt because it's easier for those landowners to come together and corrupt the government.
Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay spent the next year writing a total of 85 essays explaining, justifying, and defending the Constitution. In the end, New York did ratify the Constitution on July 26, 1788, because a Bill of Rights was added. The poll numbers were close, 31 delegates voting yes and 29 voting no. New York was the 11th state to ratify, and they gave the new union a good chance of being passed. George Washington was chosen by the Electoral College to become the first president of the states. He took the oath of office before both houses on April 30th, 1789.